What is going on YouTube? Samix Plays here, and today I wanted to do some tips and tricks for a lot of the people that maybe haven't gotten that far into the game yet. This is going to be a more noob-friendly video. If you are a veteran, you might not get as much use out of this video, but you might find one or two things that you didn't know about. So without further ado, let's just jump into it, and I'm going to break it down. For the first tip, I wanted to go over the journal. If you go over here and then you hit access info, you can go to the amorphous material and you see how there is a lot of them. Well, if I come up here to the top right and let's say I am trying to unlock Ultimate Bunny, I can type in Ultimate Bunny and it will show me all of the amorph patterns with her pieces. This also applies if you are trying to target a weapon. So for example, Enduring Legacy, you can always just type whatever you're looking for in here and it will show you all of the amorph patterns, and you would just look through here and see which one has the highest percent drop rate. This can save you a lot of time. It took me a while to figure this out. I don't know why the search bar is right there, but my brain just never comprehended it. But this is one thing that can definitely help you out if you're trying to be more optimal and save some time. You can just type in whatever piece you're looking for. On that note, the second tip I wanted to go over is tracking pieces. So as you can see here, I am trying to track the Enduring Legacy. So I went ahead and I tracked all 4 pieces. This will level up with mastery. I believe when you first start the game, you don't have all 4 slots unlocked, if I'm remembering that correctly. So you might be able to only track 1 or 2 in the beginning. However, it is still important because you won't have to keep going back to your journal and trying to find out where that piece is. So I could just scroll over whatever piece I am target farming and then hit F, and that would take me and let me know my options as far as where it drops and all that good stuff. For the third tip, and I think this one is extremely important, anytime you get an item such as like a legendary or anything like that, you always want to register it just to be safe. By doing this, you basically are telling the game to never dismantle. I played too much WoW back in the day, but anyways, yeah, basically it's you don't want to ever dismantle your legendaries. When I first started the game, I dismantled both of the thunder cages they gave me because for whatever reason, if you go down here, you can filter it, and at some point, I guess I had it set to ultimate tier and lower. I don't know when I did that, but somehow I did that. Make sure you don't do that. Always keep it on rare tier and lower. When you have legendary weapons in your inventory, always make sure to register them, because if you get in the habit of just constantly dismantling your inventory, odds are if you change the filter on it, or you might just forget or what have you, you're going to end up disenchanting your legendary weapons and they will not give them back. There is no restore function. Make sure to register your items. It takes 2 seconds. Just press U on it. You'll see a little heart. That's how you know it's done. So always be doing that. This one is for my cosmetic lovers, but if you are not comfortable dropping all that money on an ultimate Descendant, if you grind to get the ultimate Descendant, and once you unlock it, it will drop that price down because you already own the ultimate. So if I click here, it'll show me that, hey, you already have ultimate Valby, we're gonna discount the price, and then you can just outright just buy the cosmetic. It will also give you a Descendant slot if you do just want that cosmetic. That's how you can save some money. Or if you prefer just to outright buy the ultimates, you do you. It's just a tip for you if you're just trying to save a little bit of money and you just want to get the skin. If you do grind all of the ultimates, it is going to be the same price. So for example, I grinded all of my ultimates, so all of them should drop down to 1,050. So here we have Valby, Lepic, VS, yeah, see how they're all the same price, so it's gonna drop it down to 1,050. You can also get the ultimate bundle, however, I would not recommend it unless you just really want to get those cosmetics like the extras in here. But in my opinion, the energy activators and the catalysts are semi-easy to get, so you get upcharged quite a bit with this package. Though, you do you. I'm not telling you how to spend your money, I'm just saying me personally, that's how I view it. Another tip that might save you some time is presets. So if you go over here, you can actually make yourself a preset. So for example, I have a couple boss presets and then I have a couple of farm presets. So you would just click this button right here, and whatever gear you're wearing, it will save it. So for example, this is my farm set right here. So like if I go over here, you can see I have like Kuiper shard increase, character XP gain modifier, firearm proficiency gain modifier, and then item acquisition distance. This piece kind of sucks, but I couldn't get a legendary one yet. But anyways, you get the idea. You can switch between a farm set and a boss set like really quickly. So let's say I wanted to go fight a boss and I want to use this Descendant instead of like, you know, pressing I, changing the Descendant, then changing my gear. I already have it set up right here, and I can just press F on it, and then there you go. It automatically switches it to whatever. I know a lot of people can get stuck on those bosses in normal mode, so what I used to do when I ran into those bosses, I would go here in normal, and depending on how far you are in the game, you would think that queuing up and just starting a public would be easier. However, the boss scales off how many people are in the dungeon or the Colossi fight. So you might want to try doing it solo. This makes the boss weakened, and you might have an easier time trying to do it solo than you would in a public lobby. Of course, if you do queue up for a public lobby, you do have a chance of getting like someone who is just very overgeared and can kill it really quickly. However, I'll leave that up to you. If you just keep joining public lobbies and you can't down that boss to progress the story, you could always just give it a quick try in solo. You might find it's a lot easier than you think. You always want to be swapping weapons when you are changing either legendary weapons, purple weapons, it does not matter. If I scroll down here, you can see what the proficiency is on these guns. You always want to be rotating them out and using ones that you haven't already leveled to max, because that gives you mastery, and mastery is extremely important. It levels up your capacity, your weapon module capacity, your equipment inventory, storage slots, consumable inventory, all that good stuff. It levels it up. Shape stabilizer inventory limit. This is your bread and butter for convenience, so you always want to level this up, especially in the early game. It gives you new features. However, you'll just naturally gain this throughout playing in the normal campaign, but once you get to a little later levels, you are going to need to be rotating those weapons. I believe the highest you can get right now is 26, if I'm not mistaken. I believe I read that somewhere. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is 26. So yeah, always be rotating your weapons. As soon as you see a weapon hit 40, if you are not catalysting it, you want to be just swapping that out so you get some mastery. If you have a hard time clearing the content, you can keep like a main gun on and then equip 2 weapons that you're just passively leveling up while you're playing the game. That way you are kind of min-maxing your mastery. And of course, this always applies to Descendants as well. The first time you level up Descendants to 40, you will get that mastery. Keep in mind, if you do disenchant those Descendants and then, or I'm sorry, dismantle, you will not keep gaining mastery off that. So if you catalyst or if you reset your level back to 1, you will not continue to get mastery as you level up again to 40. So it only does it once, so keep that in mind. If you are dying too fast, either in normal and or hard mode, make sure the most important early game mods, and they're still super important late game, is going to be the increased HP mod and the increased defense mod, which is going to be this one right here. You can level these up fairly early, and it will give you a lot of survivability. You will immediately tell a difference. It is an insane boost to your survivability. Always level up these mods on your Descendants if you are just dying too fast, and this should help you out a lot. If you are not yet through the campaign and into hard mode, after you do finish the campaign and or before, however you want to do it, I would recommend immediately unlocking Sharen. She is going to be needed for a lot of the late game farm. Pretty much anything you're going to be farming for is going to be Sharen. You will need her to hack the Outpost and get a lot of special amorph materials that can only be acquired through hacking the Outpost. She should be your priority. If you do not have her yet, you need to get her. She is a requirement. Make sure you unlock her as soon as possible. The other Descendant that you can unlock early is going to be, I say early, after the campaign and or before, however you want to do it. You will need Enzo. This one isn't going to be like Sharen where it's a requirement, however it's more of like a quality of life. Enzo is going to be used to obtain Volt Mats, and he's going to be used to increase your materials gained from those Volt Mats. So he's a very important farming character that you will need later in the game to unlock a lot of the things in the game, such as like ultimates and stuff like that. He's very useful, and I recommend getting him. So if you wanted to prioritize like 2 normal descendants that you need, I would pick Enzo and Sharen. They are invaluable. For my third, I would say Freyna, just because you can use her for early inorganic farms once you get to the campaign mode, but most people will just naturally get these characters. Just make sure if you don't have Sharen and Enzo, you do eventually want them, but especially Sharen, she's the main one. Once you do unlock Sharen, you can kind of go pretty budget build with her, but the main thing you're going to be needing is maximized duration and skill extension. This is going to allow you to stay stealth longer while you are hacking those outposts. These are arguably the 2 best mods that will let you just keep hacking those outposts without being seen and having to like run out and reset. So make sure you do have these 2 mods built up. It helps a lot when you're hacking the outpost. And just in case anybody doesn't know how hacking an outpost works, don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do that. My recommendation is setting your world to private. If you come up here, it's going to say public on default when you log into the game. However, if I click it, I can change it to private. That way you don't have anybody messing up your hacking, because it will require you to just run in there and deactivate the machines. So if it's in public, a lot of players either don't know about this or they aren't going for that material, which in my opinion, you should always be hacking outposts because they give stabilizers as well as just off patterns that you might need later in the future. So I recommend doing this in private. You can try doing it in public, but a lot of players, what they'll do is they'll just run in and nuke it before you're finished hacking, and then you won't get the rewards, right? So assuming that you have those mods built up, like I told you, what you would do is you would hit your stealth ability and you would run in here, hold E to disable the device. You can also use your grappling hook if you're trying to get over there quicker. And some will have 3 and some will have 4, and then you would just nuke the boss. You can kill the ads if you want. Keep in mind, Sharen, when she comes out of stealth, does more damage, so it does work to your benefit if you want to re-stealth during the fight, and you would just kill the elite of the outpost, and that's how you would hack an outpost. So when you scroll over here, if you scroll down, it'll say additional ward for successful infiltration. That's basically hacking. It's basically just successfully infiltrating an outpost, just like I showed you there, and that's how you would do that. It's going to be used for a lot of things later in the game, so you will need to be doing this. And that's going to be the 10 tips to help out new players, and or if you're a veteran and maybe you learned something new, let me know down in the comments. And of course, if anyone else has any other useful tips that you maybe want to help out a newbie with, you can feel free absolutely to drop it in the comments, help somebody else out. I am Samix Plays. I appreciate you guys for watching. If I helped you out in any way, please drop a sub, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!